along the ridge. She was the fastest Spartan on the chief's team. He was confident those grunts wouldn't be able to track her for the 3 seconds she'd be exposed. In quick succession, Blue 2 emptied both of the jackhammer's tubes, dropped one launcher, and then fired the other rockets just as fast. The shells streaked into the grunt's formation and detonated. One of the stationary guns flipped over, engulfed in the blast, and the gunner was flung to the ground. She ditched the launcher, jumped down, rolled once, and was back on her feet, running at top speed to the fallback point. The chief, Blue 3, and Blue 5 leapt to the top of the ridge. The chief switched to infrared to cut through the clouds of dust and propellant exhaust just in time to see the second salvo of jackhammers strike their targets. 2 consecutive blossoms of flash, fire, and thunder decimated the front ranks of the grunt guards, and most importantly, turned the last of the plasma cannons into smoldering wreckage. The chief and the others opened fire with their MA-5B assault rifles, a full automatic spray of 15 rounds per second. Armor-piercing bullets tore into the aliens, breaching their environment suits and sparking the methane tanks they carried. Gouts of flame traced wild arcs as the wounded grunts ran in confusion and pain. Finally, the grunts realized what was happening and where this attack was coming from. They regrouped and charged en masse. An earthquake vibration coursed through the ground and shook the porous stone beneath the chief's boots. The 3 Spartans exhausted their AP clips and then, in unison, switched to shredder rounds. They fired into the tide of creatures as they surged forward. Line after line of them dropped. Scores more just trampled their fallen comrades. Explosive needles bounced off the chief's armor, detonating as they hit the ground. He saw the flash of a plasma bolt, sidestepped, and heard the air crackled where he had stood a split second before. "Inbound Covenant air support," Blue 4 reported over the comlink. "ETA is 2 minutes, Chief." "Roger that," he said. Blue 3 and 5 maintain fire for 5 seconds, then fall back. Mark. Their status lights winked once, acknowledging his order. The grunts were 3 meters from the wall. The chief tossed 2 grenades. He, Blue 3, and Blue 5 stepped backward off the ridge, landed, spun, and ran. 2 dull thumps reverberated through the ground. The squeals and barks of the incoming grunts, however, drowned out the noise of the exploding grenades. The chief and his team sprinted up the half-kilometer sandstone slope in 32 seconds flat. The hill ended abruptly, a sheer drop of 200 meters straight into the ocean. Blue 4's voice crackled over the comm channel. "Welcome mat is laid out, Chief. Ready when you are." The grunts looked like a living carpet of steel-blue skin, claws, and chrome weapons. Some ran on all fours up the slope. They barked and howled, baying for the Spartans' blood. "Roll out the carpet," the chief told Blue 4. The hill exploded. Plumes of pulverized sandstone and fire and smoke hurtled skyward. The Spartans had buried a spiderweb pattern of Lotus anti-tank mines earlier that morning. Sand and bits of metal pinged off of the chief's helmet. The chief and his team opened fire again, picking off the remaining grunts that were still alive and struggling to stand. His motion detector flashed a warning. They were incoming projectiles high at 2 o'clock, velocities at over 100 kilometers per hour. 5 Covenant Banshee flyers appeared over the ridge. "New contacts. All teams open fire," he barked. The Spartans, without hesitation, fired on the alien flyers. Bullet hits pinged from the flyers' chitinous armor. It would take a very lucky shot to take out the anti-grav pods on the end of the craft's stubby meter-long wings. The fire got the aliens' attention, however. Lances of fire slashed from the Banshee's gun ports. The chief dove and rolled to his feet. Sandstone exploded where he had stood only an instant before. Globules of molten glass sprayed the Spartans. The Banshees screamed over their heads, then banked sharply for another pass. "Blue 3, Blue 5, Theta maneuver," the chief called out. Blue 3 and 5 gave him the thumbs-up signal. They regrouped at the edge of the cliff.